Good morning, Ashwini, Mronali. Please inform others that I'll be engaging
Good morning, sir.
HR analytics.
Sir, there is one request, sir.
Who is this? Mronali,
Some Runali.
go ahead.
Sir, Badgi sir started the class almost at 9:30. Sir, they need to inform, right? So you said that till 9:15, like 15 minutes, we should wait and we should
Correct,
consider
correct.
that after 15 minutes class was not
Right,
there.
right. I
So
will.
we'll
I
get
will.
missed out the subject,
No,
sir.
I'll tell. I'll
So
tell.
what to teach you?
Okay,
Yes, sir.
don't worry. But the class did not start at 9, is it?
No, sir. Actually, I think so. It start at 9:20 or something.
Okay,
So I joined at 9:30, sir.
no problem. Okay, I'll inform. Okay.
Yes, sir.
If it is going to get delayed, then I'll inform the faculty to put a message saying that class would be delayed.
Yes, sir. So not only today, sir. Like so many times it happens, sir. So I asked.
That is what. Okay, sorry for that, but I'll inform the faculty.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, just give me 2 minutes time. By the time everybody joins, okay, I'll just open the slides. Guys, any assignment, anything was given for HR analytics so far? Anything given for HR analytics so far?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, given.
What was the assignment given? Can you just tell me, Monali?
Sir, the concept of lean manufacturing.
Ha, right, right. TPS, right?
That one, yeah.
Toyota Production System.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay, fair. Please inform others to join because only 12 have joined so far. Okay, and before we start with the class, okay, those who have not given your vivas or there was some of the guides have asked you to repeat your presentation, try to complete it in 2 days because we have to send the marks to the university. The notification from the university has come that we have to send the marks to the university. So be in touch with your respective guides and ask them to take your vivas. Okay, don't expect your guides to always be behind you. Okay, it's your marks, it's your responsibility. So you talk to your guides and schedule your presentations and get it completed. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So do a college going to start from 15th?
Don't ask me difficult questions, Monali. I
Yes,
don't
sir.
know. Right now, today I read the newspaper. It said from 15th it is starting. But again, in phases. In phases means we don't know what is that phases means.
Yes, sir.
It's good if it starts because even we are bored of taking classes online because we cannot see anyone and we are speaking to the computer every time, which does not respond. Okay, everybody come in the video mode. Everyone, please come in the video mode. Okay, guys, we have completed the first unit in the previous classes. Okay, I hope you're comfortable with the first unit and I know that you have not gone through the first unit once again, once it was taught. Okay, but I request all of you to please keep on revising yourself because we can expect your first eye test to be any time now. because we have already completed the 40 days, that is 6 weeks of classes is already completed. We started on 1st of September. Okay, so by 10th of October, your 6 weeks would be over. Okay, so actually the first eye test is after 40 days. Okay, so the 40 days would be over by 10th of October. So we can expect to you to have your first eye test anytime. Okay, if you're joining on 15th, fair enough, you'll be having a physical test over here itself. If you're not joining, then it would be an online test as you had it for the second semester. Okay, then next thing is about the notification that I have sent you. Maybe 2 days back I've sent you a notification. Okay, that if you have not received a notification, or by mistake I have sent you that, please ignore it, because it is only for the terminal semester. Okay, those people who have in the fourth semester who have not attended the exams in the during the COVID, okay, who have not attended, for them that notification was there. So I'm not sure whether I've sent it to your group. If I've not sent it, it's good, because it is not for you all, it is only for the fourth semester students. Okay, and we can expect your exams to be, your final exams to be in the month of December or January. Okay, because if you understand, okay, normally we start in the month of August. So August, September, October, November, 4 months of classes, and then your exam starts in the month of December. But this time we have started in the month of September. So September, October, November, December. Okay, plus maybe due to online they may extend it for some more days, that is 15 days extension. So you can expect your exams to be in the maybe in the second half of January. Okay, first maybe you can assume January as your exams. Okay, so start preparing for the same thing. Okay, simultaneously we'll also be starting with your placements. So please get yourself trained for placement, work on your aptitude, work on your interview skills. Okay, since it is online, it is really difficult for us to train you online on all these things, but yeah, your interviews mostly would happen online itself. Your tests would be online, your interviews would be online. So you have to get used to the system of online interviews and all. Okay, so please prepare yourself. Okay, maybe 1 or 2 days I'll take special classes for you to understand what type of questions come and how to prepare your resume, because that is more important. Okay, your resume now has become very much important, because no physical interview, so they will judge you on the basis of your resume. So your resume should be nicely prepared. Okay, so maybe after maybe next week or so I'll take a class on how to prepare resume, and I'll show you 1 or 2 formats where not you cannot do prepare resumes as per that format itself, but a good format where everything is properly mentioned. Okay, so I'll do that in the next week, so that you're comfortable and you prepare your resumes. Okay, and whenever you prepare your resumes, if you want a feedback on your resumes, you can send it to me and you can take a feedback. Okay, fine. So yes, we have around 20 people joining in. So I'll start sharing the screen. Okay, we are starting with the second module today. Okay, so which is HR framework. Okay, before starting, I hope you're comfortable with what is HR analytics now. We have spoken a lot about HR analytics. We've taken almost a month to complete the first unit itself. So are you clear with what is HR analytics? Yes, no. If yes, give a thumbs up. If no, then unmute and ask your doubts. Okay, great. Okay, so I'll just share the screen and we'll start with the second part, that is your HR framework. Okay, so good morning once again. I hope you can see the screen now. Is the screen visible?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, fine. So today we're going to start with the second one, that is HR framework. Okay. Now, before starting, let me ask you a simple question. What do you understand by framework? What do you mean by framework? What's a framework? Anyone. We don't have time.
Is
Yes.
a blueprint,
A
a kind of blueprint.
Okay, it's a kind of a blueprint. Fair enough. Okay. Any other input?
So any guidelines, sir?
Guidelines, maybe. Yes, it may be a guideline. Very nice. Any other? Yes. Any other? 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 Any other
voice, please.
Ashwini? Who is this? I'm unable to hear you. Okay, whoever it was, I was not able to hear your voice. Okay, basically, if such cases happen, you can put it in the chat box so that I can read it out. Okay, fine. So basically, HR
Sir,
framework.
structure.
Okay, it's a structure. It's a kind of okay structure, not really a structure, Rohin, but maybe if we go to the synonyms of structure, you may get what is framework. Okay, but not
Yes, yes, sir.
exactly structure. Okay, see framework as
Yes.
as you said. Okay, it's a kind of boundaries. Okay, it's kind of uh, walls within which you have to work. That is called as a framework. Okay, the rules and regulations within which a particular thing has to work is called as a framework. You cannot go beyond the framework. Okay, that is what we say. So a framework is a boundary kind of thing in which everything has to be done. Okay, so basically for a photo we have a frame, right? And your photo is within the frame. So within the framework we say. Okay, so everything, all the activities that you do, all the are as per the rules and regulations set, and that is called as a framework. Okay, so here we are using this word framework in a bit different manner. Okay, here we say framework is nothing but a tool used to measure HR. Okay, basically the human resource activities are difficult to measure. Okay, so we develop certain frameworks or matrices to measure the effectiveness of the various HR activities that you're doing. So that is called as HR framework. So here we are purely focusing on how do we measure HRA, that is human resource analytics, or basically in simple words human resource, the activities related to human resource. How are we going to measure them? What are the various tools that we use? What are the various frameworks, or what are the various models, or what are the various uh, metrics that we use to measure HR performance is what we are going to do. Okay, so let's move on to the next first slide, that is the introduction. Okay, introduction. HR measures. Okay, that is measuring the contribution of the HR functions. Okay, how is your HR, how are your HR functions? Now can somebody unmute themselves and tell me what are the various HR functions? What are the various HR functions? Yes, Akshata, what are the various HR functions? Akshata, I hope you can hear me. Unmute yourself. Okay. Can somebody tell me what are the HR functions, guys? We are studying HR analytics. You have been studying lots of.
Sir,
Rohit,
Analyzing the job.
Rohit, let me interrupt you. Please, just keep quiet for some time. Let others answer. Then I'll ask you to answer. Okay. Yes.
Sir,
yes,
recruitment and
sir.
Yes, Rashmi.
sir, recruitment and selection.
Okay. Recruitment and selection is an HR function. Okay. Your favorite subject, I guess, Rashmi.
No, sir.
Okay. Compensation and benefit. Yes, Akshata, go ahead. Unmute yourself. Go ahead.
So first one is recruitment and selection,
Okay.
and next performance management.
Okay.
Next learning and development,
Okay.
career planning,
Okay. Good.
function evaluation,
Okay. What is that?
function evaluation, sir.
Means what? Means what? Like function evaluation means what?
Evaluate a particular.
Okay, fair enough. Whatever you said earlier is right. Okay, basically it talks about staffing, recruitment, okay, selection, then promotions, training, okay, appraisals, demotions, right? all these are called as HR functions. Okay, so what is HR measures is, or what is human resource measurement is, okay, measuring the contribution of these functions. How are these functions contributing to the to achieving the goals of the organization? Okay, to achieving the strategic goals of the organization, how these HR functions are contributing is what is measured. So that comes under HR measurement. Okay, so when you are talking about different frameworks and matrices, you are going to measure what the contribution of these functions to in achieving the goals of the organization. Okay, so now measures control sorry, uh, just a minute, I'll just make this correction. uh, just a second. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah. So it is measures under control of HR. Okay. Now there are certain things that are that are under the control of the HR. Okay, which can be measured very easily. Like for example, if you see basically, okay, let me tell you the example of the measures which can be controlled by HR. Okay. Okay. Okay, how do I tell you this? Yeah, yes. Uh, Recruitment, okay, under the control of the HR. Then speed of recruitment, how many times you're going to recruit people, that is under the control of the HR. The various staffing functions is under the control of the HR. Okay, so there are certain functions which are under the control of the HR. There are certain functions which are partially under the control of the HR, partially under the control of some other people in the organization. Okay, like for example, let's say efficiency. Okay, now to maintain efficiency or training, let's say training is one thing which can be partially controlled, and partially it is under the control of the person who is going to take the training. Okay, so some functions or some measures are under the control, some measures are partially under the control of the HR, but whereas some measures are not at all controlled, some functions are not at all under the control of the HR, like absenteeism, though you can have policies and frameworks to reduce absenteeism, but it's still not under the control of the HR. Okay, you cannot stop person from being absent. Okay, so the functions, okay, the measurement of various functions can be divided into three types, that is, which can be controlled, which can be partially controlled, and which cannot be controlled at all. Okay, as I said, staffing decisions, then your recruitment decisions, these are under perfect control of the HR, full control of the HR. Whereas training decisions sometimes are not under the control of the HR. It's partially under the control of the HR and partially under the control of the other people in the organization. Whereas uh, functions or measures like absenteeism are never under control of the HR. They cannot control absenteeism. Okay, so these are the measures. Okay, so basically HR frameworks helps you in measuring all these things. Okay, so HR must build ability to measure its value creation. Okay, so what does that means is basically HR should develop certain tools and techniques or models which can help them to measure the value that they are creating. Okay, because HR is considered to be a substitute activity. Okay, subsidiary activity which is not given so importance. We have studied that in the maturity, HR maturity stage. Okay, if you remember the previous module, in HR maturity we studied HR is not given so much of importance. Okay, so what happens is it's the responsibility of the HR to develop certain tools and techniques which helps them to measure the value creation or the value that they are creating in achieving the strategic objectives of an particular organization. So that is the main objective. Okay, so HR must build ability to measure its value creation. Second is HR scorecard. It's scorecard, it's one word itself. Okay, sorry for that. HR scorecard reflects and measures the strategic HR contribution. Okay, so there is something called, there is one tool which is called as HR scorecard. Now before going to HR scorecard, Guys, if you remember, you had done something called as balance scorecard in uh, strategic management. In the second semester, you had a subject called as strategic management, where you studied balance scorecard. Do you remember that? Anyone remembers balance scorecard? I'm talking to you all, guys. Please respond.
Yes, sir. So in marketing also we have, sir, in the first sem.
Okay, just a minute. Huh? Okay, guys. Sorry. Okay. Yes. So basically, yeah, Rohin, you were saying something. You have it in marketing also. Can you tell me what is this?
In marketing, yes, sir.
Yeah, what is balance scorecard?
So they have some perspective like functions they use, so like financial, in financial it is used, sir, financial goals, then customer goals are there, sir, then internal business goals, and they concentrate on learning and growth.
Yes, yes, yes. So there are four factors on which your entire organization is measured, right? It's a
Yes,
measurement
yes,
tool.
sir.
Balance scorecard is again a measurement tool where which measures four things. First is financial performance, your marketing performance, your learning and development performance, and your internal business processes, right?
Yes, sir.
I hope I'm not wrong on that, right?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So basically, that is a balanced scorecard. In the similar way, we have HR scorecards also, which measures HR performance. Okay, we are going to start. We are going to study this in detail in the next classes as to what are the various types of scorecards. But HR scorecard basically reflects and measures the strategic HR contribution. How much is HR contributing to the strategic goals of the organization is measured. Now it is measured through HR scorecard. Okay. Then there are lots of other matrices, or we do benchmarking, or HR scorecards or audits can help firms in tracking the HR performance. So what are we going to learn in this entire module? That is module number 2 is how do we measure HR performance, and how do we measure the contribution of HR functions to the strategic goals of the organization. Okay, that is what we are going to study. The various frameworks, various matrices, various scorecards is what we are going to study in this particular unit. Are you clear with that, first of all? Yes, no? If yes, give a thumbs up quickly so that I can go ahead with the next part. If there are any doubts, you can unmute yourself and ask. Guys, you're there? Are you clear with
Yes, sir.
what
No
we are
doubt,
going to
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay, fine. Okay, because see, guys, understand one thing. If you don't respond, then it's really, I'll not be really understanding whether you're really following what I'm saying. Okay, so I want response from your end. So I'm not asking you to unmute yourself every time. You can just give a thumbs up so that I understand that whatever I want to tell you, it's going into your brains. Okay, so again I'll repeat, in this particular module we are going to study how do we measure the HR performance. Okay, or how HR helps, how do we measure the achievement of various goals through HR functions. Okay, so let's move on to the next part. Okay, fine. So now we are going to start with the scorecards and other frameworks. Okay, first one is balance scorecard. Now it was developed by Kaplan and Norton. Okay, now this basically talks about the performance of the organization. Okay, it measures the overall performance of the organization, where only one part of learning and development is considered. Okay, like as I said, financial performance. Okay, then your learning and development, internal business processes, and your marketing processes. Okay, that is your okay, just give me a second here. Okay, okay, yeah. Measures customer needs, okay, or customer satisfaction basically, then internal business growth, then your financial performance, and learning and development. So if you see, balance scorecard consider only one part, that is 1/4 of your total measurement is given to learning and development. Now that is talking only about learning and development. What about the other functions of HR are not considered in the balance scorecard. Okay, so what happened? Becker et al is nothing but Becker and his other colleagues, researcher. Okay, so always remember, okay, this word ETAL. ETAL means, suppose I have written paper with 5 people. Okay, I have done a research with, let's say, Akshata, Rashmi, Rohin, and Mrunali. Okay, when I'm writing, when I'm giving a reference, I'll not give a reference as Prayag, Akshata, Rashmi, Rohin, and Mrunali. Okay, I'll just say Prayag et al. Okay, that et al means all others. Fine. So do not get, because you will be finding these words many a times in various management books. Okay, so yes, so due to all these problems with the balance scorecard, as it gave only importance to learning and development, okay, Becker along with other researchers came up with the 7-step process to clarify and measure HR's strategic influence. Okay, like how do we measure the influence of HR on the various strategies? Okay, that is called as measures HR's strategic influence. First one is, now how do we do it? The 7-step process. The first step is, first we have to clearly define the business strategies. Now it's not only defining the strategies, but it is up to the people to also specify how to implement and achieve these particular strategies. Okay, how to implement the strategy is also very important. Okay, you just frame the strategies, you don't know how to implement it, will not work. So whenever I say clearly define business strategy, means you have to define the strategies properly, and it should also specify how it should be implemented and communicated. Okay, because the strategies have to be communicated. Unless you communicate what are your strategies to other fellow colleagues in your organization, how will they come to know what are you intending to achieve, what is your strategy? Because so the strategies should be properly defined, as well as it should be properly implemented and communicated. Basically communication comes first, communicated and implemented. So that is the first step given by Becker, okay, for analyzing HR. Second is develop a strategic case for HR. Now strategic case in the sense, okay, basically how and why HR can facilitate business strategies. Okay, how can HR help in achieving those strategies? How can human resource management helps in achieving those strategies? So you have to develop a strategic case which will define how will this HR help in achieving those strategies. That is called as develop strategic case. Third one is create a strategy map. Now in creating a strategy map basically involves all the managers across the organization. Okay, it should involve everyone in the organization. All the managers of the organization should be involved in creating the strategic map. Then it speaks about the critical strategic goals. Okay, the goals, strategic goals which are really important for the organizations are defined in the strategic map. Third one, it also defines the performance drivers. Okay, what drives the performance of a particular organization? So performance drivers. How progress can be measured is the another thing that is measured. Okay, like when you say you are doing progress or there is a progress in the organization, how do you say that? There should be some measurement tools to analyze your progress, right? So I'm sorry. Okay, so how progress can be measured is also analyzed. Then what are the barriers for goal achievements? That also has to be defined properly. Okay, like you have set a goal. Okay, a strategic goal is set, but it's not that these goals would be achieved without any problems, without any barriers. So what are the possible barriers to achievement of those particular goals also has to be defined. Then developing employee competency, how are you going to develop the competencies of the employees? Okay, and behaviors, changing the behaviors to meet the goals. So All these things come under your uh, strategic map. Okay, starting from involving everyone, setting the goal, defining how to measure the achievements, getting people trained on that, providing training, okay, providing motivation, and overall, if measuring the performance, if it is not according to the performance, then what changes are required. All these things have to be properly defined in a strategic map. Okay, so it involves everything from the beginning till the end. Everything is set, so map is ready. Then next one is identify HR deliverables. Now deliverables is the performance drivers and enablers. Okay, example, what you want to achieve is your deliverable. Okay, suppose today I say, okay, I want you all to collect data of 100 people, 100 employees, and uh, measure their satisfaction, okay, from a particular organization. So what is your deliverable? You are going to go, because you are going to prepare a questionnaire, going to go do a survey of 100 employees and try to find out the satisfaction level. So once you give me the satisfaction level of 100 employees, that is your deliverable. Okay, so that is what you have to deliver. Okay, so basically performance drivers or enablers is what you're going to identify in this HR deliverables. Okay, so identifying the HR deliverables, what are you exactly expecting from that particular strategy is what you're going to, or from the strategic map, what are you going to exactly, what are you exactly expecting is HR deliverables. Then align HR architecture with the deliverables. Okay, for example, your plans, okay, to achieve a particular goal, you set certain plans. Those plans are called as architecture. Now these architectures should be properly aligned with the deliverables. Okay, for examples, if your deliverable is low turnover, okay, you want to have low employee turnover. Okay, I'm not talking about sales turnover, I'm talking about employee turnover. Employee turnover means what do you understand by employee turnover, guys?
When employees leave the company.
Yes, the number of people leaving the company is the turnover, right? So it should be low. Am I right? For an HR, as an HR manager, the employee turnover should be low.
Yes, sir.
Correct. So if your deliverable, okay, if your HR deliverable is low turnover, if you want to achieve low turnover, then your policies also should be framed in the same way. What should be your architecture? You should promote various activities and events to make the employees satisfied and get them back into the organization, or make them stay in the organization. So how do you engage your employees? So framing policies related to employee engagement, okay, becomes your HR architecture. So you're aligning HR architecture with the deliverables is very important. So whatever your deliverables are, your policies should be according to those deliverables. Okay, you want to achieve something else and you're doing something else, doesn't make sense. Okay, what you want to achieve, okay, you want to achieve this. Okay, if you want to achieve this particular thing, okay, what will you do to achieve, what are your plans and policies to achieve that objective? That becomes your architecture, that becomes your aligning of your HR architecture with your deliverables. Okay, so your alignment of HR architecture with the deliverables is very important. Then design the strategic HR measurement system. Once your HR architecture and your deliverables are set, okay, you are going to develop something called as a measurement system, where you're going to measure the performance of your measure the performance of your actions. Okay, performance of the various architectures or various strategic map, or sorry, strategic functions that you're going to implement to achieve those objectives. Okay, for example, again I'll take the example of low turnover. You want to achieve low turnover. Okay, for that you have started lots of employee engagement activities. Okay, so employee engagement activities becomes your policy to achieve low turnover. Okay, measurement system talks about whether that policy that you have started of employee engagement, whether it is effective or no. How effective is your employee engagement activity? That measurement comes here. So designing of strategic HR measurement system. So there should be proper measurement of all the activities that you're doing. Okay, and need be changing the activities if the measurement indicates low performance. Okay, so that is what the sixth step is, that is design a strategic HR measurement system. And last one is implement management by measurement. Okay, now what is this management by measurement is when your measurement system is set. Okay, when your measurement system is foolproof. Okay, this becomes a powerful tool for the management for decision making. Okay, because the management now knows, management have used the measurement system and they know the performance of various activities that you have done. Okay, and they can take decisions accordingly. So basically it is management by measurement. Okay, so you measure things, and on the basis of that results of the measurements, the management will take decisions. That is called as measurement management by measurement. So this is the seventh step. Okay, I'll just repeat it once again for you all. Okay, we start with defining the business strategies. So it's not only defining the strategies like I want to achieve this, not only that, but how do we communicate it with the employees of the organization, and how do we implement it. That comes under clearly defining business strategies. Then develop a strategic case for HR means basically how will HR contribute to the achievement of those business strategies that you have framed in the first step. Okay, how will the HR contribute to all these things, or what are the how are the various functions of HR going to contribute to the achievement of the business strategies, is what I want to define or develop in the second step. Third step talks about creating a strategic map. As I already said, creating a strategic map is basically a blueprint where you start with involving all the managers, to defining the goals, to measuring the goals, then tools for achievement of the goals. Okay, then coming to if the goals are not achieved, then what changes are required. Everything is properly put into that blueprint. Okay, that is called as create a strategic map. Then identify the deliverables. What are the things that you want to achieve, that is deliverables. Okay, what are you what are the objectives, what are the goals that you want to achieve. That is what is done in identifying HR deliverables. Like as I said, low turnover can be one of the deliverable. Okay, high performance can be one deliverable. Okay, high productivity can be deliverable. You want to increase the productivity of the employees, so that is one of the deliverables. So you have to identify the HR deliverables in the fourth stage. In the fifth stage, when you have identified the deliverable, those deliverables should be properly aligned with your architecture. Architecture is the various policies and policies that you're going to implement to achieve those deliverables. So whenever you implement the policies, those policies should be in line with what you want to achieve. Okay, I want to achieve, let's say I want to run 100 meters within 9 seconds, sorry, not 9 minutes, 9 seconds. I want to run 100 meters within 9 seconds. Okay, and I'm practicing for long distance running. I'm running for 3 hours, 4 hours a day. That will not help me in achieving my objective, because I want to run fast is my objective. Okay, within 9 seconds. So I cannot just waste time in running slowly for 4 hours. Okay, I have to time my running and try to practice running 100 meters continuously. So that is what aligning HR architecture is. Okay, if you want to achieve okay, you want to run in a marathon and you want to win a marathon, let's say, then you cannot practice for running fast. Then you have to practice for running for more a number of hours and more number of kilometers. Okay, so this is called as aligning your architecture with the deliverables. Okay, then coming designing of strategic HR measurement system. So your deliverables are there, you have an architecture. Now it's time to measure. Now it's time to have a system to measure these architectures. Okay, and last come implementation by management. Now okay, measurement by management by measurement. So management, it helps in helps the management in taking decisions. Okay, through the measurement system that you have. So this was all about your Becker's 7-step process. I hope you're clear. The meeting will end any time. I hope you're clear with all these 7 steps.
Yes, sir.
Okay, if that is the case, then I'll just stop sharing. Okay, if there are any doubts, you can just go ahead and ask those doubts.